Okay, so now we have an application with just a couple of pages, and we're going to add our first gem. So a gem is kind of an add-on, an addition to a Ruby on Rails app that was already pre-coded and that can be integrated into the application. And this gem is going to be for authentication, so for logging in. So we're going to let users log in. And the gem is going to be named device. So the Google gem device. And this is possibly the most popular authentication solution for Ruby on Rails. So here is the source code of this gem, and we are going to install it. Now let's go directly to the installation instructions. So we see getting started, and we add gem device to our gem file. Now let's go to our gem file. And first of all, let's clean it up a bit. I'll just remove the commented out code. I'm pressing Ctrl D to delete the lines that we don't need. And we are doing it just so that our gem file looks cleaner. Okay, now it looks cleaner, and at the end, I'm adding gem device. Okay, now I stop the server and run bundle. So the command bundle basically installs this gem. Okay, now we run the command rails generate device install. And let's see what this command does. So it created a file in the initializers folder named device.rb, and it created a locales file device English YML. And it gave us some additional instructions. So in config environments development RB, we need to add this line. Okay, they're going to config environments development RB, and they're adding this line. Basically, this line will be needed for sending emails in development. So for example, you want to reset your password or get a password confirmation, and this line helps us redirect emails to localhost in development. We'll come to this back later once again. Then let's go and see. Okay, we need to have a root in our routes.rb. Let's go to our routes.rb, and we already have a root page. Okay. Next, we need to have flash messages. So we're going to copy these flash messages and add them in views, layouts, application HTML. Let's go to our app, then views, layouts, application HTML. So we're going to add them above yield right here, like this. Now, let's have a quick look at the structure of this application HTML file. So the format is HTML, and in HTML we have a head and a body. In the head we have different files that we include: style sheets, JavaScripts, tags, meta tags, the title of the application. And in the body we're going to have yield. Yield is basically where all the pages are going to be generated. So if we remove yield, then the static pages as landing page and privacy policy cannot be rendered. We'll just get this page without any information under it. And this class notice and class alert are different messages that we're going to get from the application, like you have successfully logged in, or a record was deleted, or whatever. Okay, let's continue. We can generate device views, but we will do it later. Okay, let's go back to the installation instructions. So we have added this to our development RB. Now, as we are using AWS Cloud 9, we are not going to have host as local host. We're going to have something slightly different. So I will comment this out. And here the host is going to be this URL. So I copy the URL of the application, and I'm going to add it right here. So host and this URL of the application. Okay, now going back to the docs, we need to run Rails generate device model. So model is the kind of name of the users that are going to authenticate. So for example, it can be clients or companies or users. The most common one is user. So we'll type Rails generate device user. Control L, Rails generate device user. And let's see what it gives us. So it creates a migration, db, migrate, device create users, and they are creating a new table in our database. It's going to be called users with an email field, a password field, then a field for resetting the password, and for to remember me, like a button to remember me. Okay, then they're adding a new model in app models user.rb, and we created a new model called user. And the user is going to use device, and it is going to be authenticatable, registerable, recoverable, rememberable, and validatable by default. Okay, what else did we create? We created tests and a new root. So if we go to roots, we see device for users. Now let's start our server and see. And the server didn't start because we didn't run Rails db migrate. Now, in the older version of Rails, you would need to switch the server off and run Rails db migrate. But in the newest version of Rails, you don't have to do it. You just run pending migrations. So the migrations were run, and here we are logged into the application. We actually just opened the application, we didn't log in. We didn't see any links to log in, and we were not forced to log in to use the application. Why is that? Let's go back to the docs. Okay, we run Rails db migrate, and we need to add something like before action authenticate user. So for example, for looking at some pages, the user needs to be logged in, and for looking on other pages, the user doesn't have to be logged in. So we can add before action authenticate user, and it should be added in a controller. So let's go to our controllers, and we have just two controllers, application controller and static pages controller. If we add this to our application controller, let's see. Okay, we cannot see the contents of our application before we log in. And you see, here we have this alert. You need to sign in or sign up before continuing. And we have this device generated fields for logging in. We also have a page for signing up, a page for forgot your password, and these are all generated by the gem device. So let's sign up. I'm going to sign up. And here you have successfully signed up. So we are signed in to the application and we see the contents. And here you see the navbar was moved because we have our alerts on top of the navbar. So we successfully managed to sign into the application. Let's see what else the gem device gives us. It gives us something like current user. So we can see which current user is logged in. Let's go to our application HTML and let's try to find the current user. So equals current user. And here we have an active record object of the current user. So we can get something like current user.id or current user.email. And we see from which email they are logged in at the moment. Looks nice. And let's also add some links to, let's say, log out. Now, actually, I will go to my blog, and here I have some links that I've saved for future use. So let's try to add them into our application. I will add them above yield. And you see, I have them added in HAML format. It is not ERB, so it is not usable. So I will turn it into ERB, just like this, and we'll go through this code right away. You see, I'm adding these ERB tags. And we need to have an and in the end of this if statement. Okay, and so how is it going to work? If we have a current user object, then we will see a link to the current user email, to the user path, and we will see a link to log out. Otherwise, if we don't have a current user, if we are not signed in, we will see a link to log in or to register. Let's see if it works. Okay, no method for user path. Let's see what paths we have in our rules. We have new user session, destroy, new user password path. Okay, so here are the paths that we have. Let's try seeing if we can access this path. New user password path. And if we press this, then we get the link to forgot your password. But no, it's not what we want. There should be a page to change the email or change the password. Actually, it should be edit user registration path. And it will lead us to edit user. So we can edit the email, the password, and change the password, and cancel or kind of delete the account. Okay, so we have our current user, and we can log out. If we log out, we get this undefined method email. Why do we get it? Because we are not logged in, and we don't have a current user. That's why we should have this method under this if statement, if current user. Or we can already totally delete it because we already have this current user in our link. So now we are not logged into the application. We see this login and register that we added on the header on top of the yield. I will remove this current user email. And what do we have? We have login, register. I'll try to log in. I am logged in. And we have the email of the current user, and we can log out. Let's create a new user. I created a new user, and now I am logged in as this other user. So it kind of works.